Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sean Andrew, back with another review. This time we're going to talk about Desperate Housewives, Season 8, Episode 11, Who Can Say What's True? And remember, please feel free to leave your comments down below and your thoughts on the show. We're going to start off with Susan, who's just showing up to Alejandro's house, and she runs into the realtor. The realtor, being very mouthy, ends up going on about how the husband just left and the wife has to put the house up for sale. And just then, the wife then shows up. Susan starts to feel bad after hearing about the information, and so she offers to buy some Legos for apparently a very nice amount. She cuts the lady a check. The lady tries to say, I don't really want your sympathy, but Susan just insists. Later on that afternoon, Susan shows back up, and the daughter who was there, she sees her taking out the trash. Well, she talks to the daughter and tells her, I know he hurt you, and you don't have to worry about him coming back. You're safe. The girl starts to tear up, and then Susan leaves. And then we'll go over to Lynette. Lynette is learning, I think, probably the second or third step when it comes to a separation. And that's the reality that you are practically alone in some situations. This particular one, the lights keep flickering, and apparently Tom would just go to the electrical box and kind of jimmy something and everything will work. Lynette, not really knowing what to do, she breaks out the floor plans. She starts breaking holes in the walls, trying to find where the problem is, and everything starts to crumble even more. The kids start getting upset, and she kind of breaks to a point where she says, if she knew Tom was actually going to leave, then she would have asked him to explain all this stuff. And her being how she is, she doesn't seem to want to really ask for help. Later on, she does end up finally breaking down and getting an electrician to come in to fix all the problems. Now we're going to go over to Gaby. Gaby learns about a $90 million account that'll be in town that Carlos had been trying to get, but they want to do a little wine and dine meet, and with Carlos being in rehab, it's not really the best thing for him to be doing. So Gaby decides she'll handle it. She asks Lynette for some help with some of the lingo, apparently because she doesn't want to learn the whole thing. She just wants to learn the basic words to get her through a conversation, and she figures she'll pass everything else on her looks. When the meet actually happens, she starts doing fairly well until the notes that she had in her menu gets taken while she's on the phone. And now she's kind of at a loss for words. We're now then going to go over to, we're actually going to do Renee and Bree at the same time because their stories kind of intertwine. Renee is a bit upset because Ben has not been paying her enough attention. And with Bree starting to drink a bit more and Renee wanting to have some fun, Renee takes Bree out to a bar. At first, Bree is not feeling it at all. She doesn't like the setup. But after a couple of drinks, she meets a nice guy. They go out to a pool, have a little bit of fun, and some comedy ensues. Then back to Renee. She then starts getting attention from Ben out of the blue. He apologizes, hey, I'm sorry, just a lot of stuff got caught up and I should have put you first. But we also then learn that Mike had to stop Ben from making some type of deal with a group of people who apparently put a lot of money in suitcases. And he kind of lets it out without really knowing it, saying that, Renee just got a $12 million settlement. So the real estate project that he's doing that's having a few bit of issues, Ben, now starts averting his attention back to her, definitely going to ask her for some money, which is the unfortunate part. Towards the end, we end up closing out with Bree going back to the bar, now by herself, feeling fully energized from this situation. And the closing scene shows her leaving the bar with a new guy, hand in hand. And whoever apparently has been writing these notes was sitting in the car watching her drive off. That's how the episode ends. Again, since this is the final season, they are really building that level of tension. It's nice to see them Throwing in a couple of extra turns, Lynette handling the separation, Gaby really trying to do things on her own as well, Bree being a bit more spontaneous, Susan still being classical Susan. And so these changes within the characters, they fit very well. They don't feel forced. And it doesn't feel like they're building to a final season, a season series finale. It just feels like it's another good, solid episode. And I can't wait to figure out who they pinpoint, whoever is actually writing these notes. I'm not going to try to guess too much because I generally would just like to, I want to be surprised when it happens. So please leave your comments down below and your thoughts on the show. Should Bree end up getting a man by the end of this? I like her kind of being by herself, but unfortunately, because of the last couple of seasons, you know, it would be kind of nice for her to have someone in particular, especially someone that can maybe help her from drinking all of that. And also Susan. Well, Susan, who towards the end of this does seem to feel a little bit more relieved that she was able to help out that lady in some sort. The girl does tell her mother that Susan did tell her that, you know, you don't have to worry about him coming back, which now can raise another red flag for Susan, thinking that Alejandro's wife is now going to come looking for her. So that has been my review. My name is Sean Andrew with the TV show review, and this is my review of Desperate Housewives, Season 8, Episode 11, Who Can Say What's True? See ya.